Hi, I am architect Nishant Machhar, principal architect and partner at Rajnikant Machhar and Nishant Machhar Architects. We've been in practice for 40 years now. My father, Rajnikant Machhar, established our practice. We do diverse range of projects ranging from institutions, industrial buildings, pharma projects, single family homes, multi-family housing, corporate and community housing, and of late we've done a couple of auditoriums as well. The client is a farmer and he approached us with the site which he has owned for more than 30 years. His brief was simple. He wanted a family home. So it is not a farmhouse but a house in a farm. The site is a farmland and it is surrounded by farms. It is roughly 10 kilometers from the nearest urban node of the city of Bhavnagar in Gujarat, and it is off the Varted-Sitsar highway, and it is geographically located in the village of Sitsar. So this is your Varted-Sitsar highway, and there is a road which sort of curves around a crater which is over here, and you enter this site, which being a farmland is rather oddly shaped. And as you enter, they have an existing outhouse where the laborers live, the barn, and there's a hillock over here, and this is where the actual residence is built with mango plantations and chiku plantations which follow behind, and rest of plantations done along. Originally, when we approached the site, the client took us through this road, but we took this hillock, exploited it, made a gazebo over here, and then we decided that let us approach the site from this area rather than directly approaching it. So you sort of elevate yourself over here and come to the driveway and park your vehicle over here, and this is a very revealing kind of an approach. Unlike an urban house, it is a building which has been spread out, and if you look at it from the front, you see a very nice and interesting low-lying structure, and we've used the Shihor stone with its openings and the verandas and the columns, and then as you look beyond, you start to see how the building rises. You start to see other elements of the house, and then eventually you have the library, the home theater with a terrace here, a terrace over here, and over here overlooking the farmhouse. Entry to the house is from the north. There is a vestibule, and of course the formal living comes first. A small powder room. This vestibule further leads you to the family living area. The dining adjacent to it. Kitchen obviously near the dining area. Your store and wash facilities, and a puja room which opens from your formal living area. A passage from the dining leads to 2 bedrooms on ground floor with their dress and bath areas sandwiched in between them, and then to a very interesting nook which opens to a library and a home theater. So the idea is to have a hierarchy of your public areas, your semi-public areas, and then your private areas. Also, climatically, all the bedrooms have been oriented to south to get hold of maximum southwest wind, and yes, all the dress and bath areas open to a very interesting sky garden. So that openness of that space is maintained. We could do this because this is in a farm. Had this been an urban context, this would not have been possible. Also, an interesting water feature starts around the puja room, comes near the entry, flanks itself around veranda of your formal living room, and a toe wall completes the whole building ensemble. Along with the openness, the client wanted a sense of security and privacy as well. So you have your social spaces which open your formal living and family living areas, which open into this landscaped court. So at any point of time, whether you are at the veranda of your formal living or your family living, or outside your bedroom, you feel, or even at this nook, you always feel connected, because that court is at the center. And then when you reach your bedrooms, you have that sense of privacy. As you move upstairs through a stair which is located here, the bedrooms repeat over the bedrooms, one above the kitchen. There are verandas which extend out. They double up as weather shades for the bedrooms below, and of course you have your own private space which overlooks the farm and the context around, which is full of trees. So at no point of time your privacy is compromised. The building employs a conventional load-bearing construction system, and it's a composite of Shihor stone and brick masonry. This Shihor stone is sandstone, which is locally available, and the character of it is really interesting. This is Shihor stone. This is randomly dressed. This would be a corner piece, and this would be facing outside, and composite brick masonry faces inside. How construction happens is you use stone headers and brick headers which sort of interlock into each other during the construction process. So this is a cornerstone, that is a mid-stone, mid-piece. So you have a hybrid system where you have stone facing outside and then your brick wall inside. So this comes to a thickness of around 1 feet 3 inches. So all the exterior walls of the house are 1 feet 3 inches thick. This also helps insulate the building during really harsh summers of Gujarat. The soil condition asked for load-bearing construction because it is economical. So below ground, all the foundations are done in random rubble, and as you go above, if I were to do a detail of that, your wall is a feet 3 inches thick, and what you see outside on the face is the Shihor stone, and the inside is all brickwork. Again, the scale of the house allowed us to use a material like this, which we had to judicially use. So if you look at the building, it rises from the ground. You have a lot of stonework happening at the ground level, and as you rise above, the stonework reduces. So it sort of helps scale the whole building down. Also, if this were a wall and if you were to use a stone, how and where it ended, where the stone masonry would stop and where the rest of the stucco plaster would happen. What if the stone masonry came from above, and if you had an opening, so there would be a lintel. So the lintel is sort of expressed visually above the window. So it is a design feature as well as it's a structural member. So that is an expression of that. Another interesting part was doing stone columns for all the verandas, which we did for the first time. These columns are essentially 3 to 4 feet in length and feet 3 inches in width, but there is a reinforced concrete column inside, and the stone jackets it. So the stone masonry happens, then the concreting happens, and so on and so forth. So it is, work done in tandem. The material palette is fairly simple. The flooring is done out of Ambaji white marble and Jaisalmer. Jaisalmer stone has been used along passages, nodes and junctions, and areas. So it has been done to offset the starkness and purity of the white Ambaji marble. The furniture has been fabricated on site. It's all made of pure teak wood and rosewood. Doors and windows are made of Indian teak wood. We haven't used glass anywhere, so to speak, and yet the building remains open. That openness is achieved without the usage of glass. So yeah, Indian teak wood, or Valsadi Sag as we know it locally, because in Gujarat weather it's a fairly stable wood. We've been using it over years, and it stands the test of time. All the material palette has been so done as to keep the building as maintenance free as possible.